Hello everyone, welcome to RAO'S IS Academy. I am Vishal, faculty for Indian Polity. The subject Indian Polity is one of the most important subject in the UPSC civil service exam preparation. Why? Because every year in the prelims examination around 15 to 20 questions are appearing. Every year like 15 to 20 questions are appearing. So from the prelims point of view, the subject Indian Polity is very much important. Whereas in the mains paper, that is the GS2 paper, it is mostly covered by Indian Polity. So from both prelims and mains point of view, the subject Indian Polity is very much important subject in the UPSC civil service exam preparation. So now in the subject Indian Polity, we learn about Indian Constitution. So basically we learn about Indian Constitution. So as a UPSC aspirants and to work in the future as a civil servants, reading Indian Constitution is very much necessary. As Ambedkar said that Constitution is not a mere document of lawyers. It is a vehicle of life. So to govern a country in a peaceful and harmonious manner, Constitution is like a guide. So as Ambedkar said, Constitution is not a mere document of lawyers, it is a vehicle of life. So Constitution is not just a book, it is a guide which shows us the path to govern a country in a peaceful and harmonious manner. That is why it is a vehicle of life. The Constitution protects the people, protects the rights of the people which are necessary in the day-to-day life. That's why it is a vehicle of life. So reading Constitution is very much important as a UPSC aspirants and to work in future as a civil servant. So now let us understand what are the books or the sources needed to read Indian Polity. So the first NCRTs, the NCRTs which are needed to study the Indian Polity. So from class 6 to class 12, so there are total 9 NCRTs for the Indian Polity to cover the subject. So the first NCRT of class 6 is Social and Political Life 1. The next class 7, Social and Political Life 2. The third class 8 NCRT, Social and Political Life 3. Next class 9, Democratic Politics 1. Next class 10, Democratic Politics 2. Next class 3, Political Theory. Next class level, Indian Constitution at Work. Next class 12, Politics in India since Independence. And the last class 12 NCRT, Contemporary World Politics. So all these 9 NCRTs are very much important. So among these 9 NCRTs, the class 11 NCRTs, that is the Political Theory and the Indian Constitution at Work, these are the two most important NCRTs. So for basic understanding, so for basic level of understanding and to have a concept clarity, reading all these NCRTs are very much important to understand the Indian Polity. So it builds your foundation. So once you have a foundation after reading this NCRTs of Indian Polity, then you can move towards the standard books. The standard books which are necessary to read Indian Polity. The standard book, that is M. Laxmikanth, Indian Polity. So this book is a must read. So without this book, Indian Polity to understand is very difficult. So that's why it is a must read book. It is mostly followed by the toppers and the faculty members. It covers most of the topics, all the topics of the Indian Polity, and it is best suited for prelims and mains perspective. And try to purchase the latest edition, that is the 7th edition, to read the standard book M. Laxmikanth. So apart from this book, there is one more book, that is D.D. Basu, Introduction to the Constitution of India. Use this book as a reference, especially for mains preparation. Why? Because it offers deeper insights and legal interpretation. It is mostly recommended for the serious aspirants and those with law options. So it more helps for the mains and essay preparation. So my suggestion is, this one book is enough for your preparation, and use this book only as a reference book. So along with this standard book, try to read the materials provided by our institute and the notes. So these things are enough. One, the NCERTs class 6 to 12 NCERTs for Indian Polity. Apart from that, M. Laxmikanth Indian Polity book, and apart from this, the notes, the materials, printed materials given by our institute. So these are the books to cover. So now let us understand what are the questions, like how many questions they asked in the previous year examinations. So if you see the prelims questions of last 10 years, so in 2015 they asked around 13 questions. So in 2015 they asked around 13 questions. So after reading NCERT's standard books and the materials provided by the institute, you have to go through the PYQs. You have to read the PYQs. You have to analyze the PYQs. So analyzing PYQs is nothing, is not just like mugging up the PYQs or just memorizing the PYQs. You have to go through the themes, the topics. You have to go through the themes. So what are the topics which are covered? What are the main key areas from which UPSC is asking questions in the prelims examination? So these are the themes, these are the topics. So just see, in 2015 they asked around like 13 questions, and the topics from which they asked is like the fundamental rights, the parliament and state legislature, emergency provisions, the judiciary, constitutional amendments. And in 2017 in 2016 they asked 7 questions, and the topics which are covered: the preamble, the citizenship, the schedules, the fundamental duties, the basic structure doctrine. And in 2017 they asked 22 questions, one of the highest questions. So here they cover the topics: emergency provisions, president and governor, local bodies, fundamental rights, parliamentary systems. And in 2018 they asked around 13 questions from the topics like DPSP, the Finance Commission, the Election Commission, constitutional and statutory bodies. So these are the major topics from where they asked. So I have just covered the major topics from where they asked in the prelims examination in the respective years. So in 2019 they asked 15 questions, that is the judiciary, federalism, legislative relations, election laws. And in 2020 they asked around 17 questions. The topics which are covered: center and state relations, local governance, parliamentary committees, 5th and 6th schedule. And similarly in 2021 they asked around 11 questions. And the topics which are covered: fundamental rights and DPSPs, role of the speaker, the tribunals, the constitutional amendments. And in the 2022 they asked around 15 questions. And the topics which are covered: RTI and CIC, governance and citizen charter, constitutional positions, anti-defection. And in 2023 they asked 15 questions, again same. And the topics, major topics which are covered here: the pardoning powers, ordinance making powers, anti-defection law, NGO and civil society. In 2024 they asked 18 questions. And the topics which are covered, the themes, that is delimitation, official language, GST and federation, schedule areas. And in the latest recent exam in 2025, they asked around 14 questions. So the major topics which are covered, that is anti-defection, clemency. Clemency is nothing but the pardoning powers of the President of India, the parliamentary privileges, the statutory and the constitutional bodies. So while studying PYQs, you just not have to mug up the PYQs, or you not only to memorize the PYQ, you have to analyze what are the core areas, what are the themes, what are the key areas, what are the topics from which they are asking the PYQs. So if you study in this manner, if you analyze the PYQs in this manner, see what are the themes, so what themes are they are repeating. So in this way you can easily understand the pattern of the exam, and it will be easy for you to read the books and to understand the topics, so that you can easily clear the exam. So these are all the last 10 years PYQs I have covered here. So I hope you liked it, and all the best for your exam preparation. Thank you.